Welcome to the Northern Powerhouse interview series, where we're unashamedly spreading good news by interviewing Northern businesses and their successes during the pandemic. Subscribe to be notified of new interviews or click the link in the description to take part if you'd like to be interviewed yourself in a future episode. So welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews. Today we have with us Emma and Scott, the co-founders of the Friendly Chemical Co. So Emma and Scott, if you'd be kind enough to introduce yourself in terms of who you are, what you do and how you help people, that would be wonderful.
So we are obviously Emma and Scott. We founded the business about 3 years ago now. We have a few sort of main brands within the company. We've got Sleek, which provides, we do eco-friendly boat cleaning products, bike cleaning products, car cleaning products and things like that. And then we've got another brand called Minimal, which we launched at the start of last year. And Minimal provides sort of refillable kind of household cleaning products, so a lot more mainstream things like washing up liquid, laundry liquid. We also do personal care products, but the thing that makes that different is that everything's refillable. So we supply a lot of small independent refill shops around the UK. That's kind of our main focus, and then we also do a lot of kind of private label work within the company, so making products under other people's brand names. So that's
Right.
the main thing of Friendly Chemical Co.
I guess the private label sector allows us to, I guess we sell into a lot of different industries, like the hair and beauty. We do like, I guess we do like medical, and we also do like pet care, things like that. So it's quite a big range of things that we sort of take our hands to in a way.
Wow. That's quite a diverse range, isn't it? That's amazing. And as you say, starting a new brand at the beginning of last year, that will obviously, hopefully we can discuss that a little bit further. But looking back over the last 10, 12 months, how has the COVID outbreak affected you in the business?
Well, it's been quite crazy really, because the Minimal brand that we launched last year, we kind of just launched that as a bit of a side project, and it's since become our main project, our main part of our business. In a way, sort of due to COVID, because we do things like hand soaps, we did hand sanitizer, that really took off, and obviously everyone's been cleaning their homes like never before.
Yeah.
So it's massively changed our business. We went from just having 4 employees at the start of last year, and we've now got a team of over 15 of us. So we've had to adapt very quickly over the last 12 months. It's been a bit of a whirlwind really.
Yeah, it has. I think it's also, I guess in a way it's impacted us positively, but we also have like sort of negative impacts as well, like having to, because we make everything ourselves here. So like
Right.
There's so many different raw components that for example, every single product has maybe like up to 20 different raw components, and then you have all the packaging and things like that. So it's been an absolute nightmare from like purchasing area, because everything's like, I guess all sort of products have just had supply issues, so it's just made it really difficult to get hold of like absolutely everything. So I guess our heads have been exploding in a way from that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's good. It's all good.
But from a growth perspective, it's been quite positive.
It sounds amazing. I mean, well done. That's 4 times on team. That's incredible. And I mean, my own first experience was sort of growing a team to 50 in 18 months, and so I could. The challenge people don't get, it sounds great, doesn't it? But there's so much challenge behind rapid growth.
Yeah.
I would imagine, especially in this situation.
I think things in terms of like management skills as well, like neither of us have any management experience. Learning to sort of deal with people has been probably the hardest obstacle to overcome, especially with us being so young as well. We're sort of much younger than every single person that we employ, which has been a challenge in itself.
Yeah. I guess all the COVID restrictions as well, like trying to put everything in place for people, because it's all new to them as well. Yeah, it's been
incredible. I mean, really well done. And in terms of some product ranges, is perfect timing. So well done. So, what would you say are some of the biggest issues you've had to overcome?
I guess we do a lot of deliveries. That's our business model, is that we drop the products off at someone's retail shop, and whenever they've run out of the liquid, we replace it and take away their empty. So it's a complete circular system. So that is quite a hands-on job in terms of being face to face. So
Yes.
COVID has been quite difficult in that sense, and obviously refilling and reusing isn't the most hygienic thing in itself, so we've had to sort of put more sanitizing processes in place, making sure our delivery drivers are safe. So I guess that's been quite a difficult obstacle.
I guess the ethos of our brand is to do everything like on a closed loop system. So everything that we manufacture, we want to make sure that that's refilled and then reused.
Brilliant.
And so I guess because we've grown so quickly, we get so many containers back to us that we then need to clean out, disinfect, and then reuse and repurpose again. So that's been issues, and then storage issues, like having to maximize the warehouse as much as we possibly can. Like in our first year, I guess we thought when we moved into this warehouse it was absolutely huge, and then within a couple of months, it just absolutely I guess every day we have to take things out and put things back in at night.
Yeah.
We have to literally take everything out of the warehouse at the start of the day so we can work in it, and then put everything back in.
Oh my goodness! That's incredible.
Yeah, fortunately, we're tripling our storage space as of next month, so that should give us more place to work in. But when we first started the business, we actually used to run it outside of our garage. So we used to we have a small IBC agitator, and we would mix like 200 litres of the liquid at once. And that was, I think that was during the time when Breaking Bad was on. So I don't know of people what we were doing in our garage.
Brilliant. Wowzers. This sounds great. I think, if, with your permission, I'd love to talk to you probably at a later date about the whole growth of the business from the start. That would be wonderful. But oh goodness, so I can't imagine that some of the adaptations you've had to make. What are some of the key things you've had to adapt with? And especially, I mean, you mentioned sort of obviously recruitment and leadership. How has we found with a lot of people, their leadership style has had to change with remote working. The idea, I have this strong idea that we can't not communicate. So, how we walk into the factory or the office or the warehouse communicates something to people. And if that's taken away with remote working, if there is any, that needs to be replaced. So what do you say some of the key adaptations you've had to make?
I guess it's quite difficult because with what we do, it's very, very hands-on. So we can't really have anyone remotely working.
Right.
Unfortunately, so that's been quite a struggle with obviously social distancing and keeping everyone safe whilst they have to come into work. Because we've been supplying hand sanitizers to sort of local hospitals, nursing homes, we are essentially key workers, so we've had to stay open the whole time. So yeah, it's just been sort of the hardest thing has been sort of trying to manage around all the restrictions.
And I guess fortunately we've been in a good position where today, like, no one's contracted COVID or in our building or
right.
So we've been. I guess that's a bit of a testament to how serious we take the precautions when we're in here.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, really well done. You, as I say, you grow rapidly. Even before COVID, you're very on message and something that really many people are really interested in, the whole recycling and low impact. And now you're helping people with sanitisation. So it's wonderful. So, I mean, there's some wins there, but what as well as obviously your increasing team, what would you say are some of the key wins that you've seen over the last year?
From a team perspective, or from
any perspective, it's important. One thing I do find interesting enough is entrepreneurial people struggle to celebrate the wins that they have. We're always focusing what we haven't done, as opposed to what we've yet to do, but what we've achieved. So looking back and saying, what, we've done pretty well there. What might be some of the things you
one of the things that I find really, really satisfying is that because we supply, I think, well, obviously we started minimal at the start of last year, and now we've got over 400 stockists, across the UK in sort of small retail shops. The thing that really excites me is when sort of like a friend will just be out shopping and they'll be like, "Oh, Emma, I've just seen your products in a shop like round the corner from me," and that I can never believe that. And Scott was in London back in August, and you saw someone on the table in a restaurant next to you, like using minimal hand sanitizer. So that's always quite crazy when you think that like it's not just in your local area that you're finding, it's actually all over the place.
I guess it's also seeing like the sheer volume of like liquid go from I guess from when like this time last year we were doing sort of maybe like a few thousand litres a month.
Yeah.
And now we're sort of doing I guess maybe about 80 to 90,000 litres a month. So it's like really taking a huge, which is about 90 IBCs, which are those big sort of plastic barrel things.
Right.
I guess we've taken the next level, and our suppliers are starting to notice us becoming more of a potential big customer. So it's nice to have that sort of interaction more with them too.
Great, fantastic, and obviously you've had to adjust, and it's from a probably differently to quite a few of the people we've spoken to who are perhaps looking at remote working, clearly or not. But of the adjustments you've had to make, are there any that you probably keep doing that you've sort of learned actually this is a better way of operating?
I guess just general like the hygiene side, like making sure everyone's sanitizing and things. I don't think for the country in general, for the world in general, that will ever really go away. It's obviously like a better way to look after yourself. So I think we'll probably try and keep that in place. We make everyone use the hand sanitizer as they're coming in.
Yeah, I guess that is probably quite a key point, to be fair. I've never washed my hands so much, in fairness.
You know, it's funny. I've got it was actually ex-client, but he's a really good friend of mine now, and he's had some underlying health problems. Not you know, and he just said to me, "Chris, I've been sanitizing for years." It's just what he does, and he does it, and it's quite normal. And he says, but the interesting thing is, I never get sick, and it's like, oh, go figure. Okay, so if we just washed our hands better, and so yeah, it's a funny thing, isn't it? And I do think and hope that there is a new norm of. Look, it's okay. I think thinking about this particular person, I was totally cool with it. I thought it made sense, but I suspect there previously might have been more of a slight stigma if somebody sort of shakes your hands and then sanitizes. It almost felt a little bit uncomfortable, but now it's just the norm.
Yeah,
it feels a bit odd now, doesn't it, when people are so close together?
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
When you watch people on TV, it seems a bit weird. When you see people hugging and things like that, it seems odd.
Absolutely. So I'm just thinking. Obviously, we've gone. I mean, we've had some really good news before Christmas and going through now with vaccines coming out. But obviously, the bad news, which hit most people quite, significantly at the beginning of the week, was the third lockdown. And given that you've got, obviously, you deliver to a lot of retail outlets, how is that affecting you at the moment?
So we're actually really lucky with the shops that we supply. So most of these shops, because they're refill stations, they sell a lot of dry food. They all have like delis. They sell things like essentials. So they've all been allowed to stay open throughout the whole time, which has been amazing for us because we're still operating completely as usual. We're very lucky that we're not into a market that's sort of completely shut down.
Right.
One area where we are slightly affected is that we supply a few hair salons. They have sort of refill stations in their salon, so people can refill their shampoo and conditioner. But luckily, that's only a small sort of part of the business at this stage. So obviously, all those shops are having to shut. But yeah, like our main bulk of our customers are still open.
I guess from the Sleek side, I guess our other brand Sleek, a lot of the shops there that we supply, which I think we have about 100 stockists in the UK, they've had to unfortunately either shut or on click and collect.
Yeah.
So that's reduced volumes on that side. But I guess the whole part, a big bonus in our business is the fact that from day one, we tried to diversify.
Yep.
Few different things, just so we have that. If one area is not doing very well, you kept up by a different area.
Sort of spreads your risk. And
Brilliant.
the thing that we do is we work with quite a few people that do like doorstep deliveries, like sort of a milkman service. So because quite a lot of what we sell is in glass bottles, they'll drop a glass bottle of washing up liquid and sort of multi-surface cleaner and then when it's empty, they'll collect it and refill it again. So yeah, I guess home deliveries have been sort of a lot more popular over this time as well. People don't want to leave their houses.
Yeah. And do you think that will maybe continue past lockdown? You know, obviously now you have to, but is that a model that you'll continue?
Yeah, I think that the people that we've supplied that are doing this doorstep delivery, they've grown massively over COVID. And I think in their research, they've said that a lot of their customers said that this is the way that they want to shop going forward. So I think people are definitely adapting to more like sort of contact-free shopping in that sense.
And I guess from our business as well, we try and work with independents as much as we possibly can. So it's good to see. I guess it's good to see like independents coming up with new innovative ways and how they can deliver things to customers. Like the doorstep delivery thing is quite unique in a way because it's actually a milk company that we supply, and we deliver like I guess glass bottles of washing up liquid in their milk cartons. Like I said before, people use it and then they leave it outside the house, and the milkman goes and collects it again. He takes it back to his depot, and we collect it and then clean it, reuse it, and then refill it again. So I guess it's
kind of like going back to basics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like how we all used to operate.
And it's good to see that people aren't, you know, from our perspective, it's really good to see that people are still focusing on independence, because at the end of the day, that's where a lot of the culture is in the UK, rather than huge conglomerates who are just sort of mainstream and everything.
I'm fascinated. I think I'd love to talk to you in more depth about the business model. So, but just, I mean, I'm really fascinated. So I get the sort of milkman delivery model. How did you come about with that? Was that your plan, or did that come a result of somebody saying we could do this? I'm just fascinated.
When we had the milk, we were getting milk delivered, weren't we, by this new business, and we
contacted them to see if
Brilliant.
they could get on board.
Yeah, like a partnership with them, and it's worked really well so far. I think they originally started last year with like one hub, which was just in Manchester, but I think they're opening 50 hubs this year, aren't they?
Yeah, we've grown quite quickly with them.
So
incredible. I mean, I have to say, it was. I obviously don't look old enough to have seen this, but obviously when I was a kid, the milk would always deliver. Everyone got milk delivered. And it was almost sad to see that stop. It was almost like part of my childhood. So
our milk delivered as well by this same company, and it's actually really nice to have like the milk on the doorstep on a Monday morning.
It's great.
Like mince pies, weren't they, outside the front door?
I'm loving this, and you know, and seeing how, as you say, you know, that relates to, you know, in the modern world, click and collect, etc. But starting to have that home delivery again. And as a service, I guess, as a purely, you know, with somebody who can deliver multiple things, that's that would certainly build a whole new sort of business community of people that want to provide delivery as a service, as a business service, if you like, again locally. That's wonderful. Cool. Blimey, we'll get this. So third lockdown hasn't affected you as much as it might have done. Is there anything, just going back to March, you know, when we went into lockdown and we had to change, is there anything that you might have done, in hindsight, being the wonderful thing it is, that you might have done sooner?
I guess probably get more team on board more quickly.
You don't understand.
We grew so quickly in that month or so that we were kind of like really sort of drowning at that point. We just kept getting orders and obviously didn't want to say no to them. But then it meant that we were like both working really late at night doing the actual manual labour.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting as well that like when you're co-founders and you've just started a business, you always want to like have control. Like, especially myself, I always want to have control over everything. So I wanted to like do everything myself, but obviously that's not sustainable. I guess you need to learn the idea of like delegation.
Yeah, it took you quite a while to be like. He wanted to see every single label on every single bottle that went out. He wanted to fill the things himself to make sure they were like up to the right level, but that's just not realistic.
It's a funny one. It's you know, I've experienced quite significant growth in the businesses I work with, but also my own businesses, but also business I work with. And the sort of the reality is, you can get to a certain level of growth with a few good people and sheer bloody guts. You know, just let's all just work really, really, really hard. But there comes a point when you can't work any harder. There's no more time to give. And so to change any more growth is actually requires a significant change of mindset. As you said, Scott, it's no longer I have to check everything. Everything needs to be checked, but not by me, or necessarily by me. And that's quite a difficult mindset, especially when we're used to being, in control or feeling in control.
Yeah, I think it's also like we give people like complete responsibility for everything. They work flexible.
You mean the staff?
Yeah, all the people that you're a part of our team, like I guess we've given them complete responsibility and flexibility to do whatever they want to get the job done. I think that's really given them the opportunity to do the job better than we probably could have done it, because we wouldn't be able to focus our entire time on that job. But I guess we've also focused on like the culture in the business as well, and making it quite relaxed. And whilst a lot of people are very strict about you need to like clock in at this time, you need to do this and that, we're quite relaxed as owners, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's also quite hard working for like a growing startup, as I think in a very big company you can often hide, but here like we'll literally pick up on like any mistake, or if someone's not working for an hour, then it's really, really obvious. So it's probably quite hard for this.
That's great, but the thing, key thing for me, culture, vision, purpose. These things are fundamentals to a business, and if by being clear on them for yourself and then clear with everybody else, you attract people that aspire to the same sets of values and culture. So it's more likely if you're high performance, if you've got high performance culture, you'll attract high performance people that will self-manage. Having a place where there's nowhere to hide is a challenge for people that want to hide. It's not a challenge for people that perform. It was interesting. I was talking to somebody yesterday and just saying, so somebody said, "Oh, nobody likes to be measured. Nobody likes, have measurement." Yeah, numbers. What's your numbers? And I said, well, there is a group of people that like to be measured, and they're the high performers.
Yeah,
it's like if you ask an Olympic champion what their record time was, they'll tell you. They'll be absolutely sure what their time was and what the next person's is. So it's part of a high performance culture, I would suggest.
And I guess that's what we're trying to focus on this quarter, isn't it?
That's like one of our goals, to sort of have a bit of a better management style in terms of like helping people develop.
Working on KPIs for each role.
Great. It's a fundamental. Is that start? Is that point of going from a few good people, sheer bloody guts, to start to identify the roles, identify people into roles, and it starts to. There's a lot of there's challenges on the way. Obviously, it's not just immediate, but the quicker we can get to that point, it's good for us, but it's also good for the individuals because they're clear on what their role is and how they perform. Otherwise, it's unfortunately it's down to our opinion of them. If we don't have key performance indicators, so measurement, measurements are great for high performers. They're not necessarily great for low performers, but that's their choice, not ours. So I such enjoying this conversation. But looking forward, look back a little bit. When we get back into the new normal, whatever that looks like, what are you looking forward to, both personally and professionally?
She'll probably say having time off.
I wouldn't blame you.
I guess like we do have quite big goals and plans for the business. We've got a lot of so last year I guess we really focused on getting customers on board, and we've done that quite successfully. We've created a brand that people really trust, so now we want to sell more to those people that are already engaged. So Scott sort of heads up the product development, and we've got a lot of products we're launching next year, really expanding the range. And like Scott said before, we're moving into a big new premises, so that's really exciting. Want to do
more innovative. Want to create our own ways of, because we sort of think that the way people refill things in the UK right now is quite old. It's very sort of like basic. And we want to create basically like affordable ways and innovative ways for people to refill and store. you probably see a lot of companies trialing similar things, you know, in like Tesco's and like Asda and things like that, where they're trialing things with these fully big, huge electric refill machines. But I think they never seem to be successful because there's certain variables that makes them not successful. So we're working on our own sort of idea at the moment that we're hoping to roll out later on this year.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. So that's going to be interesting to see and see that much. Where do you get your inspiration for innovation from?
Yeah, we've always lived on just basically just do things that we think in our head. And it's probably not the best thing to do, but we basically, if we have an idea, we basically create prototypes, or we'll mock it up, and we'll basically try and get it launched as quick as we possibly can. And if it's not successful, then I guess we'll eventually find something that is successful.
We have made a lot of mistakes along the way, because I think we're both people that just react very, very quickly and just do things like that without really thinking too much into it. We've made a few mistakes, but it's paid off in the end.
The biggest challenge to successful businesses is a lack of action, not an excess of action. Is my suggestion. And I know Brad Chiggers, who's the guy that's founded my organisation, is a very successful and wealthy guy. And one thing he told me a while ago, which has always stuck with me, was that he's as successful as he is because he's made more mistakes than anybody else he knows.
Oh, really?
And for me, I drew that. That's because he had the comfort to try stuff, to make mistakes. And as long as I learn from a mistake, it's not a mistake. It's just education.
Yeah. I guess Emma's dad always used to say, because he used to tell us, it's either like thinkers or doers. So you either do it or you think about it. So we've always done that since we started the business.
Absolutely. Mastering a mind and a mindset is one of the key parts, I think, of being successful in anything, but especially in business, because there's so many things that can go wrong that can hold us back for fear of those things going wrong, and yet, you know, it's the fear that holds us back more than anything.
I guess also in a way with how we've done things, but I guess we've always been pretty focused on. I guess everything we've done has always been quite high risk, because we haven't really had much to lose, as we've not. Well, I guess as we're at the beginning of our lives, so we haven't really got anything for anyone to take. So whatever we do,
brilliant.
The opportunity cost is quite low for us anyway, because we didn't have anything to start with.
It's a great place to be. I mean, it really is a great place to be, because, in my opinion, I think one of the things I was lucky enough to do quite some time ago was to do a lot of travelling, and, going to third world countries and meeting lots of people where the reality is, my worst day ever is probably going to be better than their best day ever in terms of, therefore, I've already won. Living in this country and being lucky enough to born in this country, I've already won. So yeah, as you rightly say, it can only be up from here. Brilliant, but I have to say, keep hold of that mindset, because that's it. Even when you have stuff, have the same mindset, because it's a great mindset to have. It creates innovation, it creates drive. So absolutely wonderful. So I mean, goodness, you've got a very bright future ahead of you. But what do you see some of the challenges that you might face moving forward?
Probably, I'd probably say I guess it's probably storage again, but in terms of challenges, I guess it's continuing innovation all the time, because we have quite a few products now, and we don't have a huge amount of like blending. We don't have a huge amount of space for like blending facility. So
right.
We are trying to innovate as much as we possibly can, but at the same time, we need to keep doing our old stuff.
I think one of the big challenges we might see over the next year or so is that the zero waste market is very, very rapidly growing. It's becoming a huge sort of growth area. My main worry is that somebody else will pop up doing something similar to what we do, or just loads of other businesses popping up in that industry. So I guess, like Scott said, we need to make sure we keep innovative, customers happy, by offering really good service, and making sure we sort of keep sort of relevant, because I know it's quite easy if you're doing well to sort of be like, oh, it's really good, and just sort of ride the wave. But
isn't it?
Yeah, I think you just need to always sort of stay on the ball.
Brilliant. I totally agree. And you know, I'd suggest that it's okay to be comfortable with competition. I'm not saying you're not, but competition. I find that, you know, the marketplace doesn't like dominant players. It just doesn't, you know. So the marketplace will encourage new players, even if you're brilliant at what you do. You know, markets want alternatives. So it's okay. But it's that constant innovation that keeps you ahead of everybody else, and that's great to hear. What would you say you've learned about yourselves during this time?
Yeah, I guess because me and Emma are obviously together, like personally as well. So I guess that makes it quite difficult. When a lot of people say they couldn't work together, and sorry, it's just gone off. Then
I can still hear you.
Yeah,
I
guess it means we probably get through quite a lot together because we can both work and live together at the same time. Like we're with each other, it's 24 hours a day. So I guess that's a good one, isn't it?
What have you learned about yourself?
In myself, I probably learned that. I guess
we've both learned, like, because maybe this time last year we were both doing everything. So we've probably both really learned what our strengths are, in terms of where we sit in terms of the business. You're sort of more looking into the future, whereas I'm more running like the day to day. I deal with kind of like what's going on with the staff, and do customer service, looking after the current customers, whereas you're not so good at that.
Yeah, I guess it's identified where our weaknesses and positives are.
So we have more defined roles now.
Yeah, right. We were kind of both kind of doing similar stuff all the time. So I guess that allows you to focus.
It's great, you know. It's really great to develop into the roles that we really love. There's a guy called Brian Tracy. He talks about the idea that the most effective people are the ones that organisations and individuals in the organisation. We're more effective when we spend most of our time doing the three things that we most love and are best at, and delegate the rest. So I'm not very good at that. So I don't need, you know, part of our makeup can be, I'm not very good at that, so I better master it. Well, why? You know, it's
if you're not passionate about it in that particular area, then you're going to struggle to look at it all the time.
So it's got often the things we're good at, the things we love, and the things we love and things we're good at. It's just sort of that's a virtuous thing that puts together. But just being comfortable with the fact that I'm really good at this stuff, I'm not at that, and that's okay, because somebody else will love. And also, the thing I find often is when I work with people, they go, "Well, I can't give that to somebody else because it's not much fun. It's no good." But the point is, it's no good for you. You don't enjoy it, but someone else would love it. It's like you're giving them a present. Yeah. Well, and when you get that, it's like, oh, brilliant. So I can actually give stuff I think is horrible to somebody and they'll go, oh, thank you. It's
I think we also use
Is that you? What's going on?
No,
it's not us now.
Oh, heck, guys, I'm so sorry. Let me I'm just going to pause the recording if you bear with me, and I'll see what's going on. Great. So thank you. So, I mean, amazing to hear your story, guys. And I'd love to perhaps follow up with a more detailed sort of interview about how your whole growth from Foundation moving forward. But just sort of as a final looking forward to the future, what does the future look like for you in a few words?
I guess we want to, in an ideal, well, I guess in the next few years, we want to basically focus on being the UK's leading chemical manufacturer for green chemistry and sustainable products. That's where our end goal is to try and there's a lot of chemical manufacturers in the UK, but there's not that actually focus solely on green chemistry and working with sustainable packaging that's completely zero waste. That's where we want to be, I guess, where we want to sit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, look, I just one of the things I love about doing these interviews is meeting people like yourselves and businesses like you have, and just finding that in Yorkshire we've got so many amazing people doing amazing things. So I'd really like to thank you for your time today, and I'm sure a lot of the things we've talked about is going to be really interesting to a lot of people that
in the local area, and hopefully there may be some more potential partners for you, because it feels like, you know, collecting local partners for what you do and the products that you have would be really great to see. In fact, I'm working with a local salon, so if I may, I might have a chat with them afterwards, and maybe we can make a connection. So thank you, Emma, Scott, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for your time, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching. What was your takeaway from today's interview? Please post it in the comments below and subscribe for all our upcoming videos, or click for the next video here.